Hey everyone, and welcome to the Wide World of Wrestling podcast. We are here today for another new episode of the Pod Champs. We are on episode 3 today. Last week we covered the pros and cons of AEW. This week we are doing the pros and cons of the WWE. We thought it was fair to do both. I know there was probably going to be some people saying, "Well, you're criticizing one company, so we're going to do both companies, WWE and AEW." We'll be talking about what we like about WWE. It's the pros and cons. So we talk about what we like, what we don't like, just like we did with AEW. I am here with Mr. Jacobs again,
How you doing?
co-creator of this new show. I want to thank you for being on. Before we get started with things, I guess we could, today WWE had another PLE, the second of the last of this year for the main roster at least. Today we had WWE Crown Jewel, which consisted of 7 matches. I thought it was a pretty good show. What did you think about Crown Jewel?
I mean, I think as a show, I enjoyed it, and I think that I mean, for me personally, I think that a lot of people were tuning in for the the Bloodline match, and also Gunther and Cody, which
Yeah.
to me that's why I was watching. But I mean, I think it personally as a show, it didn't disappoint. I think that well, I'm sorry for people that didn't see it, but I'm gonna spoil it for a second.
Yeah, this
Um,
is like everyone watching. This is spoilers, so if you haven't seen Crown Jewel, you might want to mute or
yeah, you can pause it, go watch it, and come back. But with Roman losing, I mean, I think that sets up a lot of things for Survivor Series. I mean, it's setting up something huge. I think the storytelling alone with that match was pretty good. I would not even cap on that. I thought that the way that match went was pretty good. And Roman taking the pin, I think that's setting up a whole lot of things. And I'm excited to see where they're going with this next because we know that the Rock is looming in the background.
oh yeah,
We know that he's back there. And I mean, it's exciting to see that the whole story play out, and I think it's being done justice right now. So that to me, that's like the spotlight of the show. And of course, with Cody, and Gunther, I mean, that was Cody took a beating. I mean, Cody got his ass kicked. Let's be the he was down for the cause, and I appreciate that personally. But yeah, the right man won, and I thought it was a great show. And uh, I'm usually kind of have my opinions about the Crown Jewel, but as a show, it was good.
yeah. I thought this was one of the best Crown Jewels that they've ever had, probably. Um, I thought the opening match with the Bloodline was a decent match. I didn't think we would get too much because they're going to save a lot for Survivor Series. Obviously, they don't want to give away too much. Uh,
Right?
so I did like I like how Roman Reigns and Jimmy Uso came out separate than Jey Uso. He had his own entrance still, and
Yeah,
we kind of seen that a little in the match where Jey Uso didn't want to tag Roman. There was still some tension there. Uh,
I love
eventually,
that.
eventually he had to tag in Roman eventually, but I thought the this new bloodline needed to win because if I feel like the OG bloodline needs to win at Survivor Series, and if
Right,
they win to if they would have won tonight, then they would have made like what's at stake. I mean, they've already beat him.
right. You just spoiled the story right there.
Why would they need to go against him again at Survivor Series? So now there's even more tension with Sami Zayn. He I was on Raw. He was with Solo Sokoa. We don't know what was said with that, but I liked how I actually thought he was going to join Solo, but then he quickly. That was a good swerve. I thought.
It was brilliant how they did it because it reminds me of how Sammy turned on Kevin at the
Yeah.
Survivor Series. Whenever that reminded me a lot of that. Not Survivor Series, but jeez,
NXT.
yeah, it was NXT. Yes,
Yeah.
it reminded me a lot of that. And as far as like how Sammy his part, I think that the way they're playing it is like Sammy at first he was playing kind of both sides when it came to Kevin and the Bloodline. If you
Yeah,
go back and remember, and you remember that, it's the same steps. You know, Sammy had to choose, and Sammy, and at the same time, it does harken back to whenever Sammy turned on Roman in the bloodline. It's the same kind of thing. And the way they did that, it was brilliant. And the storytelling alone, it was amazing.
yeah. I like the which Sami Zayn did come to help eventually at the end of the match. Solo pinned Roman. A lot of people were mad about that, but they gotta have some stakes at Survivor Series. Like they gotta have something. And it's not like Roman can't take a pin for once. I mean, he hasn't been pinned since Cody. Uh, which in the last 4 years, how many times has he been pinned? Like he hasn't been pinned at all. So I don't think it hurt Roman. It really just raised the stakes for the story. And we've seen Sami Zayn go to help, and then he accidentally Halua kicked Roman Reigns, uh,
Hmm.
which
I
Sami
think it's
Zayn,
the plot.
but Sami Zayn does, as we see on Raw, he does have tension as well, just like Jey Uso did. And Jey Uso hasn't forgave Roman at all. It looks like, especially
But what was Sammy doing talking to Solo though? What was that about? That's the whole thing
yeah.
I'm wondering.
I'm wondering if he's going to join them eventually, and they're just setting them up. I don't know. But it looks like we do have our War Games match set. It's going to be OG
That's it.
Bloodline versus New
Games. Yeah.
Bloodline. Like that's going to be your unless The Rock comes in, and then we have 5-on-5. Right now it's 4-on-4. Uh, Besides that match, I thought the triple threat match was very good. Andrade, LA Knight, and Carmelo Hayes. That was a really
That was
really
good.
good match.
Oh yes, that was awesome.
I was kind of bummed that LA Knight retained, just for simple fact that they had this really good 7 match series, and one of them could have benefited from winning. And
Hmm.
and LA Knight kind of ruined their 7th match. So I'm curious to see where that goes. Bronson Reed and Seth Rollins was a good match. That's another match.
Technically, it wasn't really a match. They just beat the hell out of each other, and then and then
Yeah,
and then
Seth
it was
Rollins.
just over.
Well, the Kevin Owens and I think it was Randy Orton and Kevin Owens that the match never happened. Uh, which
I thought it was both.
well, at first in the Rollins and like they first started brawling before the match, and the match actually started. Uh,
Oh, you're
there,
right. You're totally right.
Rollins did win that. I thought Bronson should have won that because he's been built like a monster these past few months, and he lost against Braun Strowman, so that's a kind of a loss. And then he lost tonight. But after the match, it looked like that they're not over with each other. Uh,
No, not at all. I
Bronson,
think they're planting seeds.
Bronson Reed got right up, and then Rollins talked about it after Crown Jewel. And we've seen on Raw they're going to have a fatal four-way to see who goes against Gunther next. I think Bronson Reed's going to cost him in that match. Um,
I mean, that's smart thinking though.
then at Survivor Series, Bronson Reed should beat Rollins. And then at Saturday night's main event in December, they should have Rollins win the series because I like Bronson Reed, but he's not winning this whole feud. Uh,
That's what I'm thinking too.
if they're
I
going to
mean,
do Punk and Rollins at WrestleMania, then they're going to have Rollins win this feud. He's lost
right.
a lot this year. He's lost WrestleMania. He lost Damian Priest. He's lost a lot of matches this year, and he hasn't had a big year really uh, because he's been out most of the year, injury. But the Gunther and Cody match was really really good. The finish
Yeah.
was kind of Roddy Piper and Bret Hart or Stone Cold and
Yeah,
Bret.
that's it. Roddy Piper and Bret Hart. That's totally it.
The finish didn't really hurt Gunther because, as Cody Rhodes said on SmackDown, that Gunther is the type of person to let his guard down at the last minute. And that's kind of what happened. He let his guard down at the last minute, and Cody scored a fast one. That was a really,
Yeah.
really good match. Uh, what else? Orton and Kevin Owens didn't even really have a match. They just beat the hell out of each other. Uh,
Yeah.
to Kevin Owens, it wasn't about a match. It was about ending Randy Orton. It wasn't about winning a match. Like to
And
him,
at the same time that they progressed the story.
yeah, like a lot of stories were progressed on this show. Uh,
Hmm.
like with Rollins and Bronson Reed, the Bloodline. I thought Cody Rhodes was going to lose. I really thought Gunther was going to win there. I thought Kevin Owens maybe would have done something, but he didn't. And I liked how he wore the Bob. Like last night, Kevin Owens wore the Dusty Rhodes shirt. Tonight he wore the Bob Orton shirt.
Yeah,
I
that
feel
was
like
awesome. I love that.
that's pretty good heel work. Which
That
Kevin
was a
Owens,
good shirt. That's a pretty cool shirt too, by the way.
yeah, he wears a lot of cool shirts. I've seen him wear a Terry Funk one, a Bret Hart. He's got a lot of cool shirts. But yeah, I thought Crown Jewel was a pretty good show. Uh, Liv Morgan and Nia Jax was pretty good. The women's four way tag match was actually really good. I thought that was the better women's match of the night, personally. Uh,
Yeah,
we did see the tease of Tiffany Stratton cashing in. I'm glad she did not cash in there. She needs
me
to.
too.
I would rather her cash in at Survivor Series than Crown. Like a lot of fans online were like, "I'm so disappointed that Tiffany didn't cash in." But would you? I would not want her to cash in at Crown Jewel. I would want her at
I
Survivor
agree.
Series, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania. Like, listen to
It has
yourself.
to be a major. It has to be a big major pay per view for a big major cash in.
Yeah,
Waste that on Crown Jewel.
yeah. Like Crown Jewel is not really a big pay per view. Well, for Saudi Arabia, it is. For
Well,
them,
for them it is, but to
yeah,
us it's a glorified house show.
yeah. I mean, the show was not a major. Like Bad Blood felt bigger than this one, but it was still a good show for what it was. But I'd rather her cash in at Survivor Series. That's a bigger stage. More people will be
Hmm.
there, and it's just a better environment. It's just overall better for everybody. Uh,
Right.
but yeah, if I had to rate Crown Jewel, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. What about you?
Well, I'm gonna go a little bit further. I'm gonna give it an 8, just
That's,
because I thought that the storytelling was cool. And I thought that it, when it came down to the major stories, they planted some seeds, and that's what I'm watching for. I love watching for the stories, the great stories that they tell. That's the reason why I love to watch. And I feel like, at the same time, you know, i- it's not canon, but at the same time, it is.
yeah,
And I see that now because, a few years ago, it was never canon. Now, watching that, they're making it canon.
yeah. Certain parts
And
of it, yeah, certain parts of it was like the Saudi Arabia title or whatever.
hmm
Certain parts of the show is a longevity to other feuds like the Bloodline and not Cody, Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. Like that stuff is a longevity for not just Crown Jewel.
yeah, I mean, I mean, they have, like, I think the deal ends in like 27, I think. And
Yeah,
but honestly speaking, the money they're making and they're all happy. I think they're gonna renew that deal.
yeah. I know a lot of people are hoping that they're not going to, but they would
I
probably
hope
will.
not, but
I would rather them take that deal and do it with someone else. Like do it with Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico, their crowd was amazing in 2023.
exactly.
Or France. Like give them a deal like that. Like go there for the next 10 or 15 years. Uh, But that covers Crown Jewel. I wanted to talk about that. It's gonna be hard not to talk about that. Might as well.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a very good show. A lot of people are saying it was the worst PLE of the year. I don't know if it's. I mean, they've had a lot of good PLEs. It might be the worst. I don't know, but it wasn't a bad
I'm
show.
not gonna call it the worst, but it wasn't the best. I'll say that.
Yeah, I give it a 7 out of 10. They've had a lot of good PLEs this year. It's kind of hard to say what is the worst because they've had a lot of good ones. Uh, but moving on, as the topic is, it's the pros and cons of the WWE. Uh, WWE has undergone a lot of major changes in the last 2 3 years, mainly this year, I would say, because this is a
Hmm.
full year that Vince is no longer in charge. In 23, he kind of did, but he's like 100% out of the picture now. Uh, there is a new leadership under Triple H. He's under creative, new owners with TKO. Uh, a lot of people came back to WWE. You never thought they would, like CM Punk. Uh,
Yeah.
People that's never been in WWE, like Motor City Machine Guns, uh, and a lot of international talent coming through NXT. A lot of changes. So Do you think that Triple H has improved WWE from this year? I would say because it's kind of hard to say for 2023 because Vince was still there, but this
Hmm.
year is a real like full year of just Vince out of the picture. Do you think
Yeah,
that Triple H has improved WWE for the better?
definitely. I mean, definitely. I think that Triple H, he's given a lot of guys that chances that Vince, you know, passed on. You know, he's like, nah, not, I don't like him. But Triple H, he's the guy that'll be like, you know what, you're wrong. I see something in him, and you don't see it, but I see it. And and the brilliance of it is that he can accentuate the positives and how the negatives. You know,
Yeah.
it's the way it's done really, and his way of doing it is like, you know, he gives the people that have been told no a chance. You know, and that's something that I admire because at the same time he's been through the same thing.
Yeah.
He's been through the ringer, and he knows how it goes. And I think he's given the future of wrestling kind of a, you know, a key to the kingdom as far as like, hey, you know, and not only will you know how to, you know, wrestle, but you might just, you know, you might learn how to, you know, run a business. You know, and the thing with it's so smart how it's done with him, and I think that under him, I feel like people are more relaxed. They're more I mean, you can see on Twitter they're free to talk and see they're free to say whatever the hell they want now. I mean, you
Yeah.
can see that on Twitter, and I think it's cool. Now, at the same time, I feel like a lot of fans that I guess don't understand as far as the business side of it, they'll be pissed off with some decisions, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But I feel like as far as how he's doing it, he's looking out for, like, you know, the younger talent. He's looking out for them, and that's, I mean, that's awesome. And if you don't notice that, as far as like somebody that knows how it goes, you know, I don't know how to, you know, explain it to you, but I feel like he's the guy that was in the trenches and came out and he's trying to teach new soldiers how to go to war. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's pushing a lot of different people than Vince would. I don't think if Motor City Machine Gun was in WWE with Vince, I don't think Vince would see anything in them.
No, he wouldn't even know who they are, but Triple H did.
And even if he did know who they are, he probably wouldn't see what everyone else sees in them. He would probably see them as glorified jobbers. He would probably split them up eventually, then change their names, and
You're right. You're probably right about that.
he would just change everything about them. Like he wouldn't care. So like guys like Triple H, he actually gives. He probably knows the Motor City Machine. He's probably known who they are for years. Uh,
Exactly. We talked about that last night. That
yeah,
he studies. He's a student of the game. That's why
like
they call him the game.
he's probably watched all these guys for years. Like he personally scouted Pete Dunne the WWE when
Yeah.
he was in charge of NXT. Um, but a lot of guys like Bronson Reed, he's pushing a lot. Carmelo Hayes, he brought back Andrade. That's one of his guys. He's pushed him pretty good. Uh, Even women like Liv Morgan, they've been pushing her a lot this year.
Hmm.
And even some up and coming women like Tiffany Stratton, she's been getting pushed a lot. Uh, who else? Lyra Valkyria, she's on Raw. They've been
Yeah.
pushing her a little bit. And even on NXT, even though he's not in charge of that, uh, you can tell that it's just a better environment with Triple H. I mean, not everyone can be booked good. I mean, it's impossible to book everyone. Like you can't book everyone as a main event talent. That's just never going to happen. No matter what company it is, no company will ever book every single wrestler signed good. That's
Hmm.
not possible. But it feels like if someone does have a frustration, they're willing to work with them. Because Triple H is a long term booker. He knows what he's going to be doing at next year's WrestleMania already. Uh,
Yeah, he probably already has the next three WrestleManias planned out.
Probably so. Uh, and like just like AJ Styles, like fans want it, like and like that's another thing. He listens to the fans a lot more. Like fans wanted AJ Styles back on TV, even though he did get injured his first night back. Triple H
Yeah.
did promote him coming back the next week, and he gave the fans what they wanted. That's something Vince would have cared less for. Uh, but I think Triple H has improved WWE for the better. Not everything is going to be perfect. Like in no era of wrestling is everything perfect. If you know an era of everything that was perfect, let me know because
Right.
I've never like even in the Attitude Era there was issues. Like no era is gonna be perfect. Uh, but Raw has been booked a lot better. SmackDown's booked a lot better. NXT is getting really good. The pay per views
Yeah.
are a lot better. The stories are a lot better. There's less. There is some comedy in WWE still, but it's not like it used to be, like with singing and dancing. And if you do see it, it's very little on the shows. Like the only comedy you'll see I know of is R Truth, maybe Chelsea Green and some of the stuff she does.
Yeah.
Jay Uso a little. That's really it. Like before, you would see golly Dewdrop. You have a superhero. You'd have 24/7 title.
The
New
thing
Day.
is that my thing is that I have no problem with comedy in wrestling. There is room for comedy in wrestling. I love comedy in wrestling.
As long as
Comedic wrestling is some of the best. As long as it's good. You know what I'm
it's
saying?
something
As
stupid
long as it's good.
like I used to hate
You
when
know.
R Truth and Carmelo used to do their like little dance break or whatever, like in the middle of a match. I thought it was just always very. You can be funny without having to look cartoonish. Like they
Right.
literally had Sesame Street on WWE one time. That's how bad it got.
Yeah, with the Kermit and Miss Piggy and all that shit. That was a
Like,
weird era.
like
That
they
was weird.
literally like that's insulting your fans' intelligence. There, I don't think we'll
Exactly.
I don't think we'll ever have to worry about that again. Like if they're gonna
I
bring
hope not.
anybody, like they're bringing guys from like the NBA, like we've seen.
Kermit, no, Kermit's cool. I'll let Kermit in. He's fine.
Like if like anyone they bring over is like basketball stars, Travis Scott, or actually famous people, not just non-fictional characters. Uh, which maybe you can revamp WWE Camp and do something like that. I don't know.
I mean, WWE camp. I gotta say, no, you bring that up. I've been watching that. I've been watching it back lately. I think it's probably one of the best shows that WWE's created.
I
I'm just
think
gonna say it right now.
I think they should bring it back and do it like obviously Vince would not be a part of it. Anyone
Of
that
course
watched
not.
that, Vince is a character in that, so he would not be in that. But I think they should maybe revamp it or reboot it or something, and like make it into like The Simpsons or something, or like South
I
Park.
mean, the thing is, I mean, a lot. It's kind of hard to do that though. Think about it. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to top The Simpsons.
Well, I don't know about topping The Simpsons, but being kind of like South Park, like TV 14-ish type stuff. I don't think I don't know. I think they could revamp WWE Camp and do it in today's stars like Braun Breaker, Gunther,
Oh, that'd be brilliant. I would
like
love to see that.
because those were like 2015, 16, 17-ish.
Oh,
So
it's still on Peacock too. It's still on
yeah,
Peacock. So for those who haven't seen Camp WWE, check that show out. It's kind of like I don't know how to explain it. It's like a mixture of it's a mixture of wrestling and Family Guy. I don't know.
I would say that. Yeah, I've only watched a few episodes. I would get into it, then I only found out it was like 2 or 3 seasons, and I was disappointed, and I never watched it again because I like having a lot of seasons to watch. But that would be a good investment to bring back with the current stars because Braun Breaker was never in it. Like they could replace Vince McMahon with Triple H. Like, that would be pretty cool. Uh,
Season 3, we need it.
yeah, season 3. Uh, but going off of that, we both agree that WWE has improved a lot this year. But not everything is perfect. There is some things that, I mean, as I said earlier, there's no era of wrestling that's everything's perfect, but there is always room to improve in any company or any business you're in. Uh, what is something that you think that WWE can improve on, whether it's booking of certain wrestlers, storytelling?
Well, I mean, I feel like damn. Well, at this point, I'm not sure where to I'm not sure where to put my complaint. I mean, I feel like I think they, as far as the certain storylines that they drop and they just forget about,
Yeah,
and that's one thing that gets on my nerves. Like they will, they will start up a great story, and then they just forget it. And that's
yeah.
one thing. That's one thing I don't like.
It's kind of like the Chad Gable and Otis. Like
Yeah,
they were doing Chad Gable and Sammy, and that was kind of like once they were done with Chad Gable and Sammy, that's where they were going to go with. And they kind of just once Chad lost the Intercontinental title shot, his last one, they kind of just pivoted from that. They got Gable with the Creeds, and they did the White Six, and they just kind of we never really got a conclusion to that. I don't feel like they should have they should have had a match between Chad Gable and Otis at SummerSlam. I feel like now they're just trying to drag it out to WrestleMania, but you can't drag out every story to WrestleMania.
but the thing is that if you want to drag out a story, fine, but at least make it interesting so we can
Yeah.
stay with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's stupid to drag on a story that nobody's interested in.
I feel like Chad Gable and Otis fans were. I feel like they really were interested in that. Uh, Obviously, Chad Gable got a lot of heel heat. Feeling like he gets the same Kurt Angle sucks chance. Uh, I thought the feud with Sami Zayn and Chad Gable was probably one of the best of this year. Probably one of the best stories that they told. But
Yeah,
they needed. I don't feel like we got a conclusion with that with him and with Chad Gable and Otis. We never got a match between them two. Like the turn that they had wasn't really a turn. It was just they split and that was it. Like another thing
right.
is A Town Down Under. They teased them going to turn on each other for like this whole year, and I mean eventually you got to. I mean, some turns take a while, but you just don't want to drag it out so long that then people don't care anymore.
You're right. I mean,
There,
think about this. Think about this. I mean, we all remember that Finn Balor was the first Universal Champion. What
yeah,
pisses me off is he never got a rematch.
yeah, that was. He never even won it back.
Not a fair rematch. He never got the rematch he deserved.
He never got to win it back. Never did anything after that. Uh,
Exactly.
and with Fabella, the Judgment Day story, I feel like that's been dragging out a little bit too much. Rhea Ripley's injured now, so they're going to be forced to move on from that a little bit. I don't know how long she's going to be out, or if it's even a real injury. Uh, but apparently, she tore her or hurt her orbital bone, uh, which
Yeah, that's where your eyes suck. That's what hurt your eyes suck it in.
they kind of rid her off TV on NXT, which was kind of cool that they did it on NXT, and she was all bloody and everything. So I feel like certain storylines that like it's okay to have long term storytelling, like the Bloodline or Cody and Owens or certain stories, but I don't feel like every story needs to be that long,
Right.
especially if it's on the order to the Judgment Day. Like I could care less who wins. Like I don't care if Liv wins. I don't care if Rhea wins. I don't care who wins. I don't want to see it no more. I don't care who wins.
Just get it
You
off my TV.
like you never want to get it to the point where the fans are turning on the wrestlers. You don't want to get to that point. Uh,
No, that's a bad situation right there.
Luckily, they haven't done that with Rhea and Liv. Everyone still cheers Rhea because she's the face, and they boo Liv because she's the heel. But you don't want to get to the point where they boo both of them. Luckily, that hasn't happened. But to fans watching at home, some people may feel that way. You just never want to. It's basically like Goldberg and Brock Lesnar. The circumstances were
Yeah.
a little bit different because they both were quitting and fans knew it, and there's nothing that they could do about it. But I mean, Roman Reigns is the best example of that. I mean, he got booed every night. In 2015, 2016 ish, they'd boo him every night.
But the thing is that you notice that they didn't book him right.
As soon as
They
they
had to
turned him
turn him.
heel,
Exactly.
all the fans wanted a heel turn, and then we finally got it. And then he's probably the biggest wrestler of this decade. He probably will be.
Exactly.
And imagine if they were doing that back then. Like we could have had this whole Roman Reigns thing back then, but we just had to piddle around and twiddle our thumbs for no reason. Uh, but yeah, the storytelling is like it's okay to have long term storytelling, but I feel like you need at least like Raw and SmackDown, like at least two storylines each show that's long term, and maybe some other stories that are semi long term. I think
Right.
that's one thing WWE can improve on is not dragging out every storyline. Because if you're dragging out everything, then there's no conclusion to anything. Uh, but as we've mentioned, Triple H has booked a lot of different people that Vince probably would not have booked to the links that he has. What wrestlers do you think that Triple H has booked better since he took over? I know there's a lot of people, and there's some people that he got rid of that was under the Vince leadership, like uh, Elias, Riddick Moss, Rick
Hmm.
Boogs, a lot of like cartoonish characters.
Yeah.
I feel like Triple H is more of a serious. He's still in the sports entertainment business, but he's also half and half of professional wrestling. It's the same
Right.
thing, really. But if it seems like he cares a little bit more about the in-ring aspect than Vince did. But who is some
I
wrestlers?
respect that.
Who do you think is some wrestlers that Triple H has booked better since he's taken over?
Well, number one on my list is Bronson Reed.
Nah, I knew that
Number
was
one. I mean, like since Triple. That's what I'm saying. That Triple H can see what's special and what's going on with this dude. I'm like, and I felt the same way when I first seen him. I'm like, dude, what are they doing? When they fired him, I'm like, what the hell are you doing? I'm like, do
yeah,
you not know what you have right now? With Triple H, he's like, no, 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 no. All right, he's gone. All right, come back.
yeah,
That, and I think that number one, he's number one on my list, Bronson Reed. And I feel like they're finally treating him like the superstar that he is. You know, to me, when I look at that dude, I'm thinking like he's gonna crush. He's gonna do some bad stuff and win some gold. That's my first thing. That's my first thought.
yeah.
And Triple H, he's thinking the same damn thing. He's like, you know what? Don't worry about the old guy. I got this. You
Yeah.
know,
It
I
did.
love,
It did feel like when Triple H got creative control that he signed a lot of guys back pretty quick, and Bronson Reed was one of those guys. He was in contract with TNA. He was Jonah then, but once his deal was up, Triple H scooped him up pretty fast. It
oh
did
yeah,
it did take a little bit to get him in the mix, but this year, 2024, has been a big year for Bronson Reed. They've booked him like a monster.
and I gotta say this too. His Titantron is dope.
Yeah,
He's tearing down buildings. I love it. That's how you should be treated. As far as a character, I mean, I'm telling you, that's how he should have been. He should have been in the first place. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, Triple H, he saw that special thing. He's like, you know what? We're gonna do something with that.
yeah. Bronson Reed has been booked really, really good. Especially like the video package they did for Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman. I I really wish that a Godzilla versus King Kong movie was coming out because that would have been a perfect advertisement. Like that'd been a perfect advertisement for that type of match.
King Kong.
Because yeah, it was basically Godzilla versus King Kong
That's
or
what it
something.
was.
Yeah, and the match was called.
Exactly.
It was Last Man Standing, but Monster Last Standing. But for me, Chad, a lot of people put in the comments, Chad Gable, I've pretty made it clear that I was very disappointed that he didn't win the Intercontinental title, and I still am. I don't think Sami Zayn should have beaten Gunther at WrestleMania. That's probably my biggest gripe of since Triple. That's the only booking decision I hated that he took his spot. They had history. Chad Gable and Gunther had a lot of good matches,
Yeah.
and we never got the we never got the finish with the story was never finished with that. Gunther made Chad Gable's daughter cry that one Raw, uh, and I feel like that'd be a perfect Mania match. It had real emotion, the storytelling was there, and Chad Gable's never won a singles title, but Sami Zayn had to swoop on in and take the spot, and we never got I feel like Chad Gable should have won the Intercontinental title, and I hope he still does. I hope he still wins the singles title because I really feel like he's this generation's Kurt Angle in a lot of
I
ways.
mean, yeah.
Heel work, mic work, in ring. He really reminds me of a lot of Charlie Haas and Kurt Angle together.
I feel like that's inevitable. I feel like he's gonna win the IC title, but should he do it as a face or a heel?
At this point, I don't care what it is. I just want him to get the title.
You just want to get the damn gold.
No matter how he wins it, no matter whatever it takes.
I feel you.
As he said, it just means more. But even with that, Triple H has booked him a lot better than Vince did. He named him Shorty G on SmackDown.
What the hell was that? To this day. Okay, that's
make,
another thing.
It don't make sense.
Okay, it doesn't at all. I feel like that was Vince's joke to him that he wanted to present to the world. And I'm like, it's not funny. I don't get it. It's stupid.
Like you have this generation's Kurt Angle in front of you. Like, I swear, if he just shaved his head, he'd be Perk Gable. He'd be the next Perk Angle. I mean, golly, like you have the next Kurt Angle in front of you, and you just call him Shorty G, just become a jobber. Like that's all you can think of for him. But
that's when I was like, man, come on, dude, what are you doing?
Triple H took that, and he was still doing tag matches with Otis, but then he transitioned him to a singles wrestler more. We saw him do more singles matches, pick up some wins. We saw the Gunther storyline. That was what really put Chad Gable on another level. Really,
yeah,
it made him a more serious wrestler and someone that people can actually take seriously again. And Triple H, I feel like, has made him an even bigger star than what he was. He could have been a big star this whole time, but because the old man was there, that couldn't happen. But I feel like Triple H has made him into a bigger star. He's more believable. He does lose a lot right now. Well, he beat Kofi Kingston. That's not too bad. But he still does lose a lot. He lost to Wyatt Six, Sami Zayn, Braun Strowman. But he is still, like, even though he's losing, he's still being, like, he's not being, like, I wouldn't even say he's being buried even though he's losing because he's still.
No, he doesn't look weak at all, really.
His character is still believable compared to Shorty G. Like he's someone that I can
Shorty G shit. I don't know what the hell that was about.
Like I could legit see him as an Intercontinental Champion or U.S. Champion. As Shorty G, he's just a jobber. He's just someone that is there to take pins and moves to put other guys over. But Triple H flipped that, and that's why he's one of my best guys that he's booked. Even though I'm still upset about what happened, I'll never get over that until he wins it. But he's booked a lot of people in the comments. Morrison Deer, Bronson Reed, I guess. Gable for me. Gable as well, but Tiffany is another one. She was never booked under Vince though. When she came in, Vince was on the way out, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
She was pretty much booked under Shawn Michaels in NXT, and now she never got the chance to be booked bad because Vince he never really got to book any of her stuff really. Well, right. She has been booked pretty good since she's come to the main roster. But let us know what you guys think who is your favorite guy that Triple H has booked better. DIY is a good one.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of different people you could.
So Shinsuke Nakamura, he kind of helped with that.
Yeah, Shinsuke, he needs to be on TV a little bit more, I think. Since AJ got injured, I don't know why Shinsuke can't take that slot. But
he's thinking 10, bro.
Yeah, I believe Jamal told us that he surfs a lot. He's been surfing a lot, but now it's time to put the surfboard down and get back to work. Which I'm surprised Triple H has not booked him because he was really high on him in NXT. But booking NXT and booking the main roster is probably a lot more to it.
I think it's a personal choice because at the same time, before Shinsuke got into WWE, he was in New Japan killing shit.
Yeah,
He had chaos, and I mean, he was doing his thing before before he stepped foot in WWE. So you know, I understand.
I do hope that they start booking him more, and that kind of goes with my next question. Uh, 2024 is almost over. We got November, December, and we're in the new year. Uh, who is someone that you think that WWE should book a lot more or better in 2025? There's a lot of people. There's a lot of new call ups from NXT coming. There's a lot of people that haven't been used that could be utilized. Who
Mm.
is someone that you would like to see in 2025 be booked like Bronson Reed or Chad? Maybe not the same ways, but in that same type of like they're being pushed the more than what they usually were.
Bo Dallas, first of all,
But
that's one name. I want to see him pushed. Um, another one. I want to see Andrade pushed more. I think seeing him. I mean, he's one. He's a top star. I'm not sure. If you don't see that, then you're not watching. I think
yeah,
Andrade he deserves a top spot somewhere.
I think
Um,
since he came back to WWE, at first it was kind of slow when he first came back. He did some 6 man tag and tag team match with Jey Uso and all that, and he had a few matches on Raw. Then he got drafted to SmackDown, and since he got drafted to SmackDown, he's been doing a lot more. We saw him against really good matches against Carmelo Hayes. They had a lot of good matches with each other. We saw him get a U.S. He's gotten two U.S. title shots since coming back to WWE. Uh,
right.
they've slowly booked him like he's one of the hottest acts on SmackDown, I think. But
I
I would
agree.
definitely like to see him win the U.S. title or win a singles title in 2025. Yeah, but yeah, Bo Dallas is another good one. The Wyatt Six debuted in wasn't like June or July. I think
I
it's
don't
around.
think that was a. Oh, go ahead.
I think like didn't the Wyatt Six Bo Dallas them debut in like June or July
I'm pretty sure it was.
or
I think
August?
it was June.
I
No,
know
no,
it.
no, no. No. They started showing the vignettes like
Yeah,
way before then. It was, I think it was like July or yeah, that may have been when it started.
I know it was in the summer. But now it seems like they're going to be feuding with The Miz and Karrion Cross, which that's going to be interesting. But in 2025, I agree that Bo Dallas and the Wyatt Six, I like to see a lot more of them. Uh, a few that I would be interested in is the Wyatt Six and the Judgment Day. That'd be a pretty interesting story.
Damn, bro, I didn't even think about that one.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
they got Nikki Cross and they got Liv Morgan, so that would be pretty interesting. But is there anyone else that you can think of that you'd like to see more of in 2025?
I would love to see more AJ Styles.
Yeah,
Um, hopefully he'll recover soon and fast. I want to see more. I want to see more of Kevin Owens. That's what
yeah,
I want to see more of what's going on with that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because I personally, I love this. He's coming back to where to where he knows what to do. We all know that he is like the first person that's going to turn on you.
oh
You
yeah,
know,
yeah. He's got history
so
of
and the brilliance of it is that within the storyline, he's like, well, yeah, everybody knows that I'm turning my friends with the they don't know what. Well, they do. They're trying to help you out the whole time, and like uh, and I think the way they're spinning it, the way they're putting this, they're trying to make Kevin, he's trying to make himself look like he's down. He's trying to uh you know do justice do justice to the WWE. They're 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 you're not gonna be on my side, or you're not gonna be on his. Okay, fine. And like
yeah,
now he's like on his own island, which is where Kevin Owens thrives.
yeah. He's
When
noticed.
he's a lone wolf. if peep the game.
Kevin Owens is a lot better of a heel than a face. When he first got to the main roster, he was a heel. His stuff with John Cena was really good. When he first got he beat John Cena his first night in the main roster, I believe.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kevin Owens is a good one. AJ Styles. Hopefully, he's not out for too long. It was reported before he got injured that they were supposed to be doing a farewell tour. That was what was reported that that's what they were going to be doing. But hopefully, he's back soon.
And the reports. The reports.
Reports. Yeah, it's reported. He is injured though. That is true. He is injured. He on Twitter he did confirm that he was legitimately injured. So that is true coming from him. So hopefully AJ Styles is not out too long and we can get him back on TV because he's had a pretty hot year. The matches with Cody Rhodes were really, really good, I thought. His feud with LA Knight at WrestleMania was very good. Hopefully we see more AJ Styles in 2025. Personally, for me, I want to see more Shinsuke Nakamura on TV.
Amen to that.
SmackDown is going 3 hours and starting in January. So SmackDown could use more depth to the roster. And they're not really doing anything with Shinsuke, so he's right there to use. They could definitely use Shinsuke to, I don't know, maybe they could put him in the U.S. title picture or do a feud with Andrade and Shinsuke Nakamura. Like, that would be pretty interesting.
He's the king of strong. He's the king of strong style. I mean, he's been on that card. He's surpassed all of them. I feel like if you're gonna put him in some kind of tier, you have to put him up there with Undisputed.
Yeah. I
mean, to me, I'm just saying as somebody that's watched his matches and see what he does, and I
think he is someone that could be a world champion, but realistically, I don't know if they would put it on him. And I would hate for him to come back and just lose his first match back. Like he comes back, he goes for the title, and then just loses.
I feel what you're saying.
I'd rather him get put in a situation where he has a shot of at least build him up some and then try to do something. Because I'm surprised, like Vince had a perfect opportunity to put the world title on him. Many opportunities, but it just never happened. But I just want to see Shinsuke Nakamura back on SmackDown.
Yeah, you and me both.
No matter what, I don't want him to get buried anymore because he's lost a lot of matches this year. And
I don't think he's. I gotta say, I don't think he's ever been buried. Really,
I think he's buried. It's kind of hard to bury Shinsuke because he's just.
You can't bury a king.
He's just going to keep coming back and coming back and coming back and coming back.
Exactly. Think about it.
He is someone that I like to see. Like I've never seen him and Andrade go against each other, and I don't think he's went against Carmelo Hayes either. I don't think they've ever went against each other, Carmelo Hayes and Shinsuke. I just want to see him back on WWE programming. You know, he would be good. Becky Lynch has been gone for a while. She's not gone from WWE, but she's on a hiatus. Hopefully, she's back in 2025. As a tag team, the Good Brothers, you don't really see them much on the main roster. They are drafted to SmackDown, but they're more so on NXT, if anything. But I thought they should utilize them more on the main roster because, I mean, it's fine to go and help out on NXT a little bit, but you still, like, they're still drafted to SmackDown. They should be used a little bit more. So
right.
I'm hoping in 2025, SmackDown's going 3 hours for 6 months. Hopefully people like Nakamura, Good Brothers, they can be added to the depth of the roster because going 3 hours, you're going to need a little bit more depth to the SmackDown roster. Going 3 hours, so
going some more butter on that bread.
Yeah, like guys like Good Brothers, Shinsuke, Giovanni, Vinci. I mean, there's a lot of guys that they could have on SmackDown. We kind of got Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend on SmackDown. It's not official. Yeah. It's not official that they've called them up, but I feel like it's only a matter of time at this point. Because they were on Crown Jewel today. They've been on Raw. They've been on SmackDown. So I've found that they're going to be on the main roster pretty soon. But Breaker's been booked really good. Yeah, he's been booked really good. He's a two-time Intercontinental champion. And speaking of
And he
Braun
just got there.
yeah, he got called up right after it was this last draft. He at first was on SmackDown, then they drafted him to Raw.
Mm-hmm.
It's only been a few months, and he was the Intercontinental Champion. It didn't take them no time. Like they put the title on him, and they hopefully he stays champion for a while because I don't like this flip flop. Like it's good to have um, like some fast title reigns every now and then because you don't want.
Yeah.
I don't think not every title reign needs to be super long, but you don't ever want the title to lose prestige or anything. Uh,
Yeah.
but Gunther had the title for like 600 days, so I guess it makes sense to pass the title around a little bit. But speaking of Braun Breaker, today on ESPN, Goldberg announced. We were talking about Goldberg last night, actually. Uh,
Yeah, we
announced,
were.
it's been announced
Damn
that
it.
it's announced that his retirement match will be in 2025. Uh, I thought of two people when I heard about that, and WWE did acknowledge it. So his final match will likely be in WWE. Who would you rather see him go against? At I would assume his last match will be at WrestleMania, probably. Who would you like to
I
see him go
mean,
final match? It could be Gunther because at Bad Blood they did kind of start something, or
yeah, yeah.
it could be Braun Breaker. That's someone that I could see go get Goldberg.
Damn it. I don't want to see it happen, but now that you, okay, fine. If it was my choice, it'd be CM Punk.
Goldberg, I would be I'd be an interesting.
If it was my choice, but it's not.
I know CM Punk and Seth Rollins are probably gonna go against each other at WrestleMania because that's what it looks like. Whenever Punk gets back, like Punk and Rollins is a good main event, not a main event, but a good WrestleMania match. Like
The
that's a
contract
really,
is already signed, brother.
yeah. Which the last time we saw Goldberg was at Bad Blood, and he they kind of teased him and Gunther, but whoever he goes against, I don't think he should win. I don't think he should beat Gunther or Braun Breaker. Uh,
I don't think Goldberg should have anything to do with it personally. I mean,
really, I don't want him back, but unfortunately,
he's a cool guy.
Unfortunately,
Yeah, his time his time has come and gone.
yeah, I think realistically, I don't want Goldberg back, but he is going to be coming back for a retirement match.
God damn it.
So it's either going to be Gunther or Braun Breaker. But John Cena, this is also John Cena's last WrestleMania. I think for John Cena's last WrestleMania, he's going to go for something big. He might go for the world title and try to win 17 time, or go against Braun Breaker because John Cena's never won the Intercontinental Championship. That's the title that he's never even competed for. So there's a lot of things that could happen at WrestleMania with John Cena and Goldberg.
Cena hasn't won the Intercontinental Championship?
Mm-mm.
That's news to me.
Yeah,
right.
He's won the world title, the U.S., the tag. That's title he's never won. He's never competed for it either. But if he wins the Intercontinental Championship,
he's not a Grand Slam dude.
Yeah, like if he wins the Intercontinental Championship, he'd be a Grand Slam champion, or he could beat Gunther and become a 17-time world champion, make history. It's going to be interesting for sure. I think John Cena will probably be on the debut of Netflix when they go to Netflix, probably. But yeah, that was pretty much it for our pros and cons of the WWE.
Yeah.
We're almost crossing an hour mark. But yeah, I forgot to show this comment. I used to love watching Camp WWE.
It's still around. It's there. You just gotta search for it.
WWE has gotten a lot better. I agree. Yeah, we want to thank everyone for watching. We definitely enjoyed WWE a lot more than we did in years past. It's gotten a lot better since Triple H has taken over. As you can tell, like I used to never watch WWE, but what really got my interest back into WWE was CM Punk going back to WWE. That's what really got like my full interest in it. But also, I like other guys besides CM Punk. I like AJ Styles. I like Cody Rhodes, Braun Breaker. I like Chad Gable. Like I like a lot of other guys in WWE, but my favorite wrestler is CM Punk, obviously. Uh,
Hmm.
but yeah, next week's episode we are going to be talking about the revolution of women's wrestling. That'll be episode 4 of the Pod Champs. Uh,
Oh yeah.
we've got about 15 to 20 episodes already planned it out, so we are not short on episodes. Yeah, is there anything that you want to add before we close out?
I appreciate everybody, adding in their feedback in the chat. That's what's up. That's what makes us go on. And I feel like we're all on the same boat right now.
Yeah,
Going through this sea.
yeah, I think we've done really good with the Pod Champs for the first 3 episodes. We've done pretty good, I feel like. Uh, but yeah, definitely follow us right here on YouTube. Definitely check out our Twitter and Facebook account. Those are both linked in the description below. Also, Mr. Jacob's Twitch account is also in the link in the description below. He's live normally every Saturday or Sunday. Uh, is it Saturday or Sunday that you're live on Twitch?
Usually Saturdays, but usually I do it on Saturdays. I'm trying to get it focused right on Saturdays whenever I can get it on there. But I'm actually about to go online in a little bit. So if anybody there on Twitch, come check me out.
Yeah, all that's in the link in the description below. Just follow the links and it'll take you wherever you want to go. But I thought this was a great topic. We covered both pros and cons of AEW and WWE. We might do TNA one day. I don't know. We did pros and cons of TNA. But I do want to say thank you. This is kind of weird, but I want to say he's probably never going to see this. But I want to say thank you to Triple H uh, for making WWE good again. Like there's been so many years where what
All right. You know what? I had to say this. It has gotten a lot better, and
yeah
he took it over the regime, so to speak.
yeah uh, yeah. Uh, we'll be back possibly for Raw on Monday. I'm not for sure. But yeah, definitely go check out. We got 3 episodes total of the Pod Champs now. But yeah, we will see you guys next Saturday for the Pod Champs.
Peace.